Hello, and welcome back to the fourth and final episode of this four-part series having to do with your activity and how that relates to finding your purpose. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is you may notice on the thumbnail I have three rings that are interlocked. Those are called Borromean rings. I will put down in the description a link to talk about that. And the reason why I chose those, I came across them by accident, but they fit perfectly. Because here's the thing about these activities is that all three, you need something from all three of those activities to make this work. Now, here's the thing about the Borromean rings. The way they're interlaced, if you break any one of those circles, they all fall apart. So that means you have to have all three in order for them to stay together, okay? And I like that symbolism because that's what this is all about. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about the three rings. And I'll give you some examples for myself. And then for your homework, you can do the same thing, okay? Now, like I said, this process is just the beginning, okay? It'll point you in the direction of your purpose, but it may not go deep enough. We may have to go deeper to get you closer and closer to it, to be more precise, more laser focused. But at least it'll get you in that direction if you have no idea what your purpose, may be. So let's try this out. So remember, we have three categories of activities, right? We have things that you are pretty much born good at, you do really well. You have another category where you are really enjoying what you do. And the third one, which is actually, there's four, but I like to combine them because it makes more sense, is that it's something you do that you can make money at, okay? And in order to make money, you have to have something to give to somebody else to where they will give you that money for it. So you're presenting value, whether it's your labor or something you manufacture, design, or an idea, creation, whatever. Okay, so let's do that. I need some extra light. It's getting dark outside, so I need to go wiggle my mouse to keep the monitors on, to keep the lights going, okay? Okay, so the Borromean rings, there's three of them. So here's one ring. See if you can see that, okay? We're going to call that your gifts, or what else are they called? But anyhow, these are the things you do really well. So I'm going to put a little G in there. Okay, these are all the things you put on that list. Now, when you do this at home, you'll have the three lists in front of you. You can draw the circles, or you can just go through the list. Now, if your lists are really long, it may take you some time. So now we have another thing here. Whoops. Another circle. Got to get some better markers. Anyhow, this one is going to be the things that you enjoy. This is pleasure. So we'll say E for enjoy. All right. And then the last one I talked about was the one where you could make money doing those activities. So put a $sign there. Now here's the thing. What you're going to look for on these three lists are things that you have in common with all three, because you need all three. And like I said, this is where the magic happens. One magic is the Borromean rings, because it's kind of weird how you can interlace them in such a way that no matter which ring you cut out, the other two fall apart. So this area right here where it intersects all three, this is the magic, okay? These are the things that will show up in there that will, if you look at them and see what you do and think about how you feel and how things flow, in other words, your workflow or your energy or your lifestyle, whatever, you'll notice in that region, those activities bring you the most. You know, you may feel more fulfilled when you do those things. Not just fun, just not money, just not, I'm good at it, but it just feels like it's complete, okay? So let me give you some examples of my own. Now, the first thing is something I did really well in my days working in aerospace was a security position. And I'm not talking about like a security guard, something like that. It was a different kind of security. And it was something I did really well. And some of my coworkers worked in other buildings and other areas and told management about what I did on this project. And next thing I know, I have other managers calling me up and saying, hey, can you do that for us as well? Here's the deal. I enjoyed it. So I'm sorry, I was really good at it. The G. I did make some money at it. It was my regular salary. I was just doing something different. But I didn't enjoy it. There was no pleasure in it. Honestly, I hated doing it because a couple things. One, it was very tedious. And you had to deal with government entities, and they were always doing coming in at the last minute to look at your work. So there's a lot of stress there. And I think one of the reasons I did it well is because I didn't want them looking over my shoulder. So if I kept a real tight ship, they left me alone. But like I said, I got 2 of the 3 rings. Now here's another one that I did, is that I think I told you in one of the other videos, I used to be a drummer. Now, not professionally, and there's a reason for that. So one of the things I found out is that, number one, I was good at it. Number 2, I enjoyed it, so I was in this circle, but there was no money in it. Drumming, musicians, painters, sculptors, anybody that's in the arts of any kind, you'll know that there's a lot of really good people out there. They do really good work, but they don't make any money doing it. You think about somebody who is a painter, makes paintings, beautiful paintings, something you want to hang on your wall, you would pay a lot of money for it. But if you calculate how much time it took them to do it, the supplies and everything else, they'd probably be making minimum wage or less. So there's no money in it. So the very top 1% are the ones that actually do well. Like when you think of all the entertainers that you've known in your lifetime, whether they're actors, musicians, anybody like that. If you think of top bands, they tour the world. They make pretty good money. They make money off their record sales and concerts and things like that. But I've gone to very small venues and listened to people that were really, really good, but they had a day job. Most musicians I have known in my lifetime have day jobs. And the same thing for me. I wasn't going to be able to feed myself playing drums. I loved doing it. I was good at it, but I didn't get very far. Okay? So let's do the last one. The last one I've already talked about, is an example of one of the things I did was doing math tutoring, and specifically statistics. And one of the reasons why that went really well is that it was a very niche tutoring. If I just did regular math, whether it was arithmetic up to calculus, I probably wouldn't have been making as much money as I did because I had too much competition. Math tutors are kind of a dime a dozen. I remember when I was in the math lab, people came in. Generally, it was classmates of the other tutors. They knew each other. They were friends. Outside of the math lab, if the school wasn't paying them their hourly wage, they wouldn't be making much money because there's a ton of them. Me, I was teaching something or tutoring something that was hard for most people, and it was for me when I first started, to digest and do well because it's a little different how it works. And so tutoring, I made, in the green here with the dollar sign, I made good money. Now, honestly, would that be something I could have done to support myself for the rest of my life until retirement? No. There was an upper limit to it. There wasn't any growth to it. I could go up. I was going up when I was teaching groups of people. I made really good money, better than I could do in anything else, better than work study at college, a minimum wage job, like at a restaurant or anything like that. But it was good money, darn good money. And here's another thing. I was good at it. Once I got past a certain place in the textbook, I think it was probability. I swear to God, I was almost in tears. I was having a hard time. I was overthinking this. And then the light bulb came on and it became so easy. From then on, everything I did in statistics was a piece of cake. Am I super intelligent? Heck no. It's because my mind worked in the way that understood how to do statistics. And then finally, so I made good money, I was good at it, and I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed teaching. I enjoyed tutoring. I enjoyed helping people learn how to learn. I would teach them study skills that not only could they use for statistics, they could use for their other classes as well. And some basic life skills too, if you come down to it. Some of these people that came to me for help were having troubles in other parts of their life for whatever reason. So I was kind of a coach then as well. So here's the thing. When you look at your 3 lists, now you may not have called them the same thing on all 3 lists, but look at things that are very similar. Okay, you may have, teaching someone the 3, everything's 3s with me, the 3 averages in statistics. Okay, so there are 3 averages and they're very different. And they come up with different numbers depending on what kind of numbers you have. But the thing is that I would say maybe teaching well, let's back up. Let's go back to tutoring. Okay, so tutoring. Now tutoring, you can tutor in anything, right? So, and tutoring in, say on one of my pages it says tutoring. I just put down tutoring. I love to do tutoring. Another one says, I got paid a lot when I was doing statistics tutoring or statistics and things like that. Well, you may have on each page the same thing, the same theme, but a different topic, but they're the same thing. Does that make sense to you? I wish I had a better example. So anyhow, when you go through your 3 pages, you have them on the table in front of you, look for things that go across all 3 places. That will go in here in the center. That's the magic. That's gold. Okay? This may take you some time. Because when I did it myself the first time, I had to redo it because I started seeing, well, I called it this on this page and called it this on the other page, but it's the same thing, so I rewrote it. And it took some time. I think I probably, when I worked on this, when I did it for myself the first time, I probably gave myself a week. Did it over a weekend, let it sit during the week, came back, in the evenings later that week and tried to make sense of it. Should turn the timer off on that or do my recordings earlier in the day. Anyhow, this is your homework. If you really want to make this work for you, if you don't know what your purpose is, or if you have a vague idea and you want to get more pinpoint, more laser focused on it, do these activities. Let me know in the comments if they work for you. If you think I'm full of it, that's okay. But I have used it on myself, I've used it on other people, and it's come out with some really great results. And it, like I said before, is it the end all be all? No, it's the beginning. It's the beginning because there's other work you have to do. For instance, if you are working in a field or a job that isn't working for you, would you change careers, go back to school, whatever? You may need to. When you find out what your purpose is, you may find out you are completely in the wrong place or your job's not the right place. Maybe you have a manager that doesn't give you enough latitude to try new things. You may need another job. Or sometimes it's just an attitude thing. You just realize, okay, I'm going to go in this morning. I'm going to have a good attitude. I'm going to have an attitude of helping others. Sometimes that'll get you going. I mean, you may have your purpose in that job somewhere, but you've got to open yourself up to it. Or You may be happy with your job. You're getting close to the end of your career. You're making good money. You have some fun with it, but it's not completely fulfilling. You may decide, hey, I'm going to do some volunteer work on the weekends or in the evenings. Or if it's just a fun thing, you may pick up a hobby. I mean, there's different things to do, okay? However, this will get you started. And once you find it, what's going to happen is when you find your purpose and you work within your purpose, things happen. Like, for instance, if you're looking for other work or a side hustle, things will start opening up to you. You'll start noticing things you never noticed before. It's like when I went in one corporate company I worked for, I went to their training department and I said, hey, I really want to do this. I've been in so many classes. I love what you guys do. I would like to do it as well. What do I have to do? It's an informational interview with the manager there. And I said, do I have to get some more training? Do I have to go get some, an AA degree in something or a certificate in training, whatever? And I went there because I figured I was not qualified whatsoever, not even for a beginner. I have to go get some training, okay? But because I knew that was part of my purpose, to teach, to train, I went to the training organization. And lo and behold, I got an offer on the spot. That wasn't the first time that happened, wasn't the last time it happened. But it's because I knew what I wanted. I knew what I was supposed to do. I wasn't looking just for another job. I was in IT. There's several things I could have done. I've done programming, coding. I've done project management. I was a lead in some of my positions. There's things I could do. I was doing budgeting. I could do proposals and budgeting for new equipment, help design some new systems, things like that. So I wasn't looking for that. I was looking for something that was, oops, I keep hitting that microphone, I'm sorry. Something that was going to be fulfilling to me, okay? Something that meant something. When you help somebody or teach somebody or tutor somebody to do something, give them skills, give them knowledge to where they no longer need your help. They go out on their own. I guess it's like a parent when they raise children. It warms your heart to know that you were instrumental in getting them to the point to where they could become independent. All right? That's what this is about. But it's independence for you, for starters. You're going to do and learn where you need to be in this world, in this life. It's not like, what are you going to be when you grow up? It's not like I'm going to be a cop, doctor, nurse, lawyer. What kind of person are you going to be? This is about your personhood. This is about you, okay? If you can get all three of these circles going, that's the last time I'm touching that mouse. If you can get all these circles going, you can be better at what you do, a better provider for your family, probably healthier, happier, doing the things that you never thought you were going to do, have the opportunity to do that, make better money. You could be successful, have more wealth in your life, things like that. It's not a guarantee, because sometimes when you do all three of these, you find out you give up something else. You get one thing and then you have to sacrifice something else. Like sometimes if you're really in the swing of things, depending what you do, you may find out, okay, I'm working 60 hours a week at something I love. I do it really well, but I'm not making as much money as I used to. But it's okay because I feel fulfilled. You know what I'm saying? So give it a try. And like I said, in the comments down below, if you have questions, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If you have comments, I will read them. I will respond. But anyhow, I want you to do this because I want everybody I touch to discover their purpose in life and live it and have the most full and fulfilling life ever. All right? So I'm going to put down in the description, I'm going to put a link for Borromean rings. I won't go into detail. I'll let the link explain it to you. But it's a really cool concept. When I used to do this in person, at one of the local libraries. It was like everybody thought I was magic, but yeah, I would get the construction paper and weave the three rings together, and staple them or glue them together. And I say, just cut any one of the colors, and you'll find out the other two come apart. It's really cool, but you need all three. All right. So this is Coach Donald Henderson. I'm glad we had this time together, and hope you got a lot out of it. I'll see you in a video coming soon. Take care. Bye-bye.